Everyone, Wednesday night we got a cup game. We got a Carabao Cup against Brighton. Now before I go any further, you know what I'm going to say, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for supporting me so far. Now this game, I think this game is a game where we need to think about what is more important. Is it the Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup? I think for Arsenal fans and Arteta, Carabao Cup is probably least of our worries when it comes to the cups. One question I want to pose to you Arsenal fans is, if we don't win the Premier League, or we don't win the Champions League and win the Carabao Cup, would you call it a successful season? Me personally, I wouldn't, because I feel like the amount we spent, the depth we have, and I think pundits, other fans from other fan bases know that Arsenal have the best squad we put together since the last few years. I think as well, this squad, it offers so much more compared to our last previous season in terms of depth, in terms of going forward, and even defensively. Now, I think for Arsenal, it's a game that we should win. We haven't lost in our last 10 games. We're playing the Emirates Stadium, and Brighton, they just come off a defeat against Man United. But that doesn't mean that they will necessarily go into the match with their heads down. This could be a retribution match. And also, I think for Brighton, if they want to walk away with some silverware this season, then Carabao Cup is the way to go, just like many other teams. Now, with Brighton, they do have a great coach, in my opinion. They've only lost one game in the last 4 or 5, I think. They've drawn a few and they've won a fair amount as well. But I think with the loss of Graham Potter, the arrival of the new coach, they still have that winning factor in them. And they're still quite a dangerous team. I mean, Brighton were Man United's bogey team, but they didn't win, unfortunately. But there were large spells that United game where they were dominating the football. Arsenal, we've actually played really well against Brighton. There has been a time where we lost or drew. Got points like we were doing consecutively of the last few seasons in silly games which we should have won. But nonetheless, I feel like Arsenal will go and get the victory. Some key players. Arsene Wenger, look at me. I'm going back to the old days. Let me chill out. I'm just showing my age right now. But anyway, Arteta, I think he's not going to be using the same 11 he did against Atletico or even Crystal Palace. I feel like he's going to give the youngsters a run and even players that we haven't seen much of yet. So I think, before I talk about the team sheet, I think some impact players which I think will do really well are Wanyeri, Skelly, who else? I think we might see some Capie in there. The unfortunate thing is Saliba's injured, but then that means that Ben White, I think, would come on as well, and Mosquera. Mosquera will be a key piece in that defence. I think out of all defenders, for someone who hasn't had many minutes, he's someone that's thriving. You know, every opportunity he's given, he's playing full force, and I think that's what you want from a player. When as a coach, if you see a player like that, it makes you kind of question, okay, who do I start? You know, and he's such a great buy, and I'm really proud of Mosquera, the way he's been playing, the way he's put his effort forward, his professionalism, everything like that. It's not easy to find a defender like that for that price tag with that mentality at that young age. So I think well done to Mosquera so far. It's unfortunate Saliba's got the injury, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's part of football, and I think he's going to be a key factor in the defensive role. Brighton, their threat would be Danny Welbeck. Danny Welbeck's a great player. He always gets the goals against some big teams. And I feel like his career is rejuvenated at Brighton. He was at Arsenal. We did okay. I wouldn't say the best. But I feel like at Brighton, at such a late age, he's kind of found his feet again. And he looks like a completely different player. So well done to him as well. And Brighton, the thing is with them, they actually do play some decent football as well. They do struggle against possession-based teams like Arsenal, Man City. And the home advantage, I think that's where they'll find things a lot trickier against us. So let me go with the team sheet before I go into the scoreline. Now, the team sheet I'm going to go for is, I'm going to go for Kepa Arrizabalaga in keeper position. Right back, go with Ben White, Mosquera. I think Gabriel will start, I'll be honest. And then left back, I'm going to go with Miles Lewis-Skelly. Defensive mids, I think Ødegaard will come in with Marino. He'll play number 10. On the right, Saka will start. Probably 1 year will be phased in. On the left, I'll see Martinelli. And then I think up front, of course, we're going to have Gyökeres. I think with Gyökeres, it would be a good game for him to kind of get on that score sheet. He scored, obviously, midweek against Atletico. Didn't have much of an impact goal-wise as we thought he would after having momentum against Crystal Palace. But I think he will hopefully get a goal against Brighton Wednesday in that Carabao Cup fixture. Main changes for me, I think personally, will be the midfield and the defence. I think the attack will shuffle around during the game. That is where it comes to my scoreline. So I think the scoreline will be 3-0 to Arsenal. I think the goals will come from Victor Gyökeres. I think Wanyeri will get on the team sheet and score if he comes on as a sub. You might not agree with this one, but I'm going for Marino as well. So Gyökeres, Ranieri, Marino. I think it's going to be 3-0. Now, the reason why I'm picking 3 different players to score is because we've had over 13 different scorers this season. And that's one thing I love about Arsenal. That's what separates us from Man City. So, Man City is Haaland. With Arsenal, goals come from all areas. Marino scoring, Gabriel scoring, Saka scoring, Martinelli scoring, Trossard scoring. You know, there's so many different players that are scoring. I think that's what separates us from other teams in the Premier League. But yes, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about what you think the scoreline might be. And let's get that dub. Don't forget to subscribe.